So what we will see today is how do we use any open source contributions that has been made to Ant, and how can we make use of them? What are the steps that we should do to include them as part of our build script? By default, Ant has a wide variety of tasks which are available with Ant installation. But there are many open source contributions which are added to Ant. So we will see now, if you have to use a third-party system, third-party jars into your Ant script, so what are the steps that you have to follow? So one important third-party contributions which are done to Ant is Ant Contrib. So in Ant Contrib, you can find lot of useful tasks which are not there by default with Ant. So let us see how can we use those tasks in our day-to-day examples. Okay, so if you want to use like Apache Ant Contrib is also a project which has given lot of tasks to Ant, which has contributed lot of tasks to Ant. If you want to make use of all the tasks given by Ant Contrib, what is that you need to do? That is something we will discuss now. First of all, you need to download a jar file, Ant Contrib jar, related jar. Okay, that you have to place in the lib directory of your Ant installation. Where is the lib directory of your Ant installation? Just check your Ant installation folder. You will see that in addition to bin, there is a directory called lib. Okay, any third party thing you want to use with Ant, you have to place the respective jar file into this lib folder. So that is first thing. If you want to use any other extra Ant task which is not there by default, to use that extra Ant task, there will be a jar file given by them. You have to take that jar file and place into lib folder. For any third party contribution, this is what you have to do as step 1. Download the respective jar from the source which is providing you the Ant tasks. Okay, copy that into your lib folder. So that is step 1. So either you can do 1 or 2, but my preference is step 1 only. Then after you do that, then you have to add a statement, task definition, net/sf/antcontrib/antcontrib.properties. The line that you see here, that needs to be placed. Why do you need to place this statement? Let me explain you the background. See, whatever is in your Ant lib folder will be loaded by Ant by default. Whatever is in your Ant lib folder will be loaded by Ant by default. But to let Ant know that there are new tasks available, you need to explicitly make this statement in your build script. Otherwise, by putting there, indirectly you are able to get that loaded into class path. It is available for you to use, but your Ant does not know that it is available. So to let Ant realize that, or to let your build script use that particular jar in that Ant installation, you have to tell in your build script to use this particular sentence. Otherwise, your build script cannot use that jar file. Whatever tasks are there by default, they can be used by your build script. If your build script wants to use any extra jar, though putting it in the lib folder of Ant will bring it into class path, but your build script cannot use it. For your build script to use it, you have to make this statement explicitly in your the Ant script that you are writing. Then whenever Ant reads this sentence, it will go and check if such a jar is available in the lib folder, and since it will find that jar in the lib folder, then it will execute the respective tasks. That is the approach. If you directly put, without this sentence, if you directly use other tasks, Ant does not know how to execute these tasks. What I will do, I will try to run it without this statement and with this statement to show you the difference. But for now, you need to understand two things. Whenever you want to use third-party jars, third-party task contributions, see, whenever you use any external system, if you are using, say, Weblogic, you want to run some tasks on Weblogic with Ant, they will give couple of Ant tasks. So if you want to start and stop JBoss, they will give some Ant tasks. So any system you want to work with, they will expose their functionality as Ant tasks. If you want to use the Ant tasks, what you need to do is, you need to get that Ant related jar, put into your lib folder, and whatever task definition that they are giving you, that task definition you have to put in your build script. Here also what I am doing, I am putting a task definition in my build script. So what task definition? Whatever tasks are given by Ant Contrib, that task definition I am putting in my build script. So if I put this statement, Ant will look for all the tasks given by Ant Contrib in the Ant lib folder. So if you are putting in Ant lib folder, no need to set extra class path for this. Ant will put automatic class path for whatever jars are there in the lib folder. Now what we will do, we will download this particular Ant Contrib jar, okay, and then put this statement, and then try to use some of the tasks which are available with Ant Contrib. So what are the tasks which are available with Ant Contrib? Let's have a look at them before we actually proceed. So you have logic tasks, you have network tasks, you have performance related tasks, you have platform specific tasks, you have lot of property tasks, you have lot of process tasks. See beautifully for day-to-day build scripts, lot of valuable tasks are contributed by Ant Contrib, and you can use all of these tasks in your scripts. Whenever you are writing scripts, these make your script more effective, and those who look at your script will feel that this guy knows more than a default Ant. So let me just pick up the if condition here. So very simple. What does if do? If will check for, see, it has two arguments, argument 1 and argument 2. You can compare the two values of the arguments, and then if condition is true, a block will be executed. If the condition is false, something else will be executed. You can also try else if also, means if this condition is to do this, else if this is true, do this, else finally you do this. So you can even construct an else if ladder as well. Okay, once you have if available with you, to make if available with you, you have to actually download that jar and put in your lib folder and set a property in your build script. So let me do all those things now. You can use a switch statement. Switch statement is a better statement. If you have heard about any programming language, you could have heard about case. Something like if the property value is this, something like you are printing the day. Just you try to check if day is this, print this value, day is this, do this, day is this, do this. So you can match a set of conditions and then do necessary actions for any of the condition matching. Similarly, you have try catch. If you have heard about try catch, this is a very important concept. So whenever you are handling any exceptions, let me take a real scenario where you can effectively use try catch. Just imagine if you are trying to connect to a Linux server and executing some command there, and that server is down. Okay, or if you want to check if the server is up or if the server is in network, then you want to proceed. Okay, or in any of these conditions, if you want to handle this situation in a better way rather than abruptly ending your script, that is where try catch can be very effective. So what does try catch do and all those things we will try to explore now. I will try to give you a good example about try catch. Similarly, you have OS family. you can do math calculations here. If you want to add, if you want to sub, if you want to, you can do a lot of math calculations as well by declaring, by setting up the value, whether you want to divide or multiply. Lot of math things also are doable. It's not that you require these things, but if you say I learn Ant, then you should be able to relate to whatever others speak about Ant. That's why I'm sharing this. So let me download this Ant Contrib now. Let me go to installation section. So I want to download now Ant Contrib. We just check that where it is available. Download Ant Contrib jar. So this is the link. Just keep this link as your reference. So from here, Ant Contrib releases are available at the downloads page. I am downloading the Ant Contrib releases. So here I have lot of releases. I can use any of these releases. Ant Contrib is pretty active community. So I can use any of these things. Let me use any of these Ant Contrib, say 0.3 I will use. So if I click on this, then I will have lot of things, source as well as bin. So let me go with bin because I want the jar file. I don't want the sources now. I want to use it. So when I want to use it, I want the jar file. So now it will download the jar. So it's a small jar, 96 KB. You can download it in seconds time rather. Once I download this Ant Contrib bin, then I am going to extract it here. I will be getting a jar inside that. So there is a lib folder. Inside that I have a jar folder. I need to pick up this jar file and go to my Ant installation where it is there. And Ant will have a lib folder. Inside that I want to place this jar file. This is step 1. I have done that. What did I do now? I went to Ant Contrib SourceForge URL and then I downloaded Ant Contrib version. It will be a zip file. I downloaded the binary bin.zip. So when I extracted it, I have a jar file inside it. I took that jar file and I placed it inside the Ant installation /lib. This is what I have done. So going back to this. So I have done the download. Now copy this Ant Contrib.this jar to the lib directory of your Ant installation. I have done that. Now if I want to use it, now I have to do this statement. This is all what I have to do. So let me go to my build script now. Now the step after I put the jar file, then the step that I have to do here is to include that the statement whatever is given here as it is. So what is the impact of this statement? Whenever I put a statement like this, what I am saying to my build script is, hey, if you come across any new task, suppose delete is known to the ant, make directory is known to ant, but I am going to put a if condition, if task, which is not known to ant. If you find any new task, there is a task definition in the build script. The task definition talks about Ant Contrib. Please go and check in Ant Contrib jar if you have that task. That is the logical flow which happens whenever I put a new task definition here. Any new task, if build script has to use it, there has to be a task definition. So anyone who contributes Ant tasks will give you a task definition. You have to have the task definition placed in your build script. Then only your build script will go and check the jar file in the ant lib directory. Just by putting jar in ant lib directory will not solve the problem. Your build script has to explicitly call that jar. Okay, now what I do, I have done the installation, guys. What all is installation for me? For me, Ant Contrib installation is about downloading a jar, putting it in the ant lib and placing one properties line in my build script. Two things, and I have done that easily. Now let me go and practice the tasks now. Let me pick up, say, if task first. Let me go to installation is done. Now let me go to tasks. Okay, let me pick up my if task first. So let me pick up this example. Again, you know the way we work as it is. Okay, so let us go to our build.properties. Okay. And let me say one property, say day is equal to, say, Wednesday. I just defined a property for a day. Okay, now let me come to my build script. Let me come to my build script and I will say, I will resolve the value of the property day and I will compare with, say, Thursday. If the matching is correct, then I will get the day is Thursday. So what I am doing here is I have defined a variable, or I have defined a property called day. I have given a value as Wednesday here. Okay, let me put smaller case. Smaller case and capital case are two different values. Remember that, this is most important thing. So I am just checking the value of this property with another string. If they are matching, I will print something. If they do not match, I will print something else. Okay. Now let me run this. So 2003 batches, say batch 31 and practice, we are here. Okay. And we say ant followed by Ant Contrib demo. This is the target. We know that we can run direct targets now in ant. So when I say Ant Contrib demo, let's see what will happen. So it started the build script, it went into the target and it checked the day value, which is Wednesday. Since both arguments are not matching, it went into the else condition and the block inside the else, anything can be there. the block inside the else is executed. This is standard if task. Okay. Just imagine if I don't put that properties file, if I forgot to put the task definition, how will Ant respond to that? It is also important for you to understand. If I did not, see, I have copied the jar into Ant lib. Okay. But I just forgot to include the task definition. Now if I try to run this, clearly it will say, what is that? Failed to create task or type if, because I have put a new task here called if. This is a new task, right? I have given a new task, but it is not understanding. Failed to create task or type if. So check the spelling. Check that any custom tasks are declared. Okay, so here what action it is suggesting is either it can be a spelling mistake or it can be a custom task. So if it is custom task means you have to provide a task definition. Okay. So that is something on how you can use if statement, which is available in Ant Contrib section. So now let me explain you another useful thing which very few Ant users are aware of. The concept of try catch implementation in Ant. What is this try catch? Try catch comes with three constructs: try, catch, and finally. In any try catch, you will see that there are three constructs: try, catch, and finally. In a programming language context, try catch is intended to check for any anomaly, any possible occurrence of anomaly, and if such thing occurs, provide a way for a graceful degradation so that the system will not go into unexpected behavior or system will not crash. Let us take an example. If you are trying to divide two numbers and you can give the denominator as 0 when you are running that code. So in which case your system will go into exception situation. It is called a runtime exception, and system can crash or system can hang. You are doing a division of two numbers and you are supplying 0 for the denominator. Or suppose you are trying to read from a file and that file does not exist. Again your system will be in hanging state. It cannot even tell you that it did not find the file. It goes there and correction is lost. So these are all possible situations where your system, your program, your application can behave in an abnormal situation. So to handle these things in an effective manner, we have the concept of try catch. So what we do in try is, whatever piece of code is vulnerable, that piece of code we will put in try block. And in case if there is any problem in that piece of code, instead of going in abnormal situation, the logic will be shifted to the catch block, and we will try to print that more detailed information to user and then exit in a normal manner, which otherwise will be exiting in a abnormal manner. So with try catch, though we don't solve any problem, but what we try to do is we present the problem more clearly to the user and exit in a smooth manner rather than going for a crash, because you are writing a big logic and suddenly you have a division by 0. Your program doesn't know how to respond. It will crash out and whatever values are there before, everything are lost. So system will be in crash situation, or application will crash at least. So these things, advanced programming languages, though at C, C++ we don't have effective exception handling, but from Java, from the advanced languages we have a solid exception handling mechanism built into the applications. In that way, even it can be a very catastrophic situation, but still we can be able to catch it, print the stack trace, and then exit in a graceful manner. So we can with Ant also we can use it effectively. Let me use it here. First I will try to show it to you without this try catch, and then we will use try catch, then you will understand it better. Let me put this try catch block here, but I will not use it right away. there is a task in Ant called fail. If you give this task, build will fail, whatever may be it. I am using this just to simulate that there is a build failure for some XYZ reason. If you see the statements, here don't take fail as literally a fail statement. Here assume that you are trying to compile and that compilation directory is not there. Assume you are trying to create jar, but destination directory is not there. You are trying to read copy files and the source is not there. In any of the situations, you will get a fail. Whenever a task fails, build will fail. So instead of all that, I am just putting a fail message because I want to show you what happens when a failure occurs. So it says echo build process started, suddenly build has failed. Okay, be it a Java compilation issue, be it the jar creation issue, be it a copy issue, whatever it can be, build has failed. And whatever statements are below it will not execute. Okay, and we don't have clue of more details also. So in these situations, we don't want builds to crash like this. That is where try catch can be more effective. See, for instance, you have written two tasks. Okay, you have written two tasks. One is to build in Windows, another one is to build in Linux. So both are started. Now suddenly Linux version is down. You don't want build to crash, you want the build to continue for Windows environment. So there can be many scenarios where you don't want a crash. You don't want a build failure for certain situations like networks, like machine not responding. In these cases, you want to be more proactive and at least throw correct message as to why the build is going to fail. This can be effectively handled by a try catch scenario. So what I do in a try catch scenario is, so you don't need these things. So you can try, and here you are failing something. Okay, let me put this statement. Okay. Now what I am doing is there is some part of code like connecting to machine or checking some process is running or not. I have some uncertain block which I will always put in the try block. So even in try block, even if a failure occurs, it won't end or drastically like which it has done in this particular case. Suddenly it has stopped. The build has broken. Now when I have a try catch block, it won't end like that. Now let's see how it will respond. Okay, I have commented the task definition before and I have not uncommented it back. So naturally those will not execute. Now let me execute this. What will happen? Let us see. Now you can see the build process started. There is failure, but build is not failing there. It has caught that it is going from try into it is going to a catch block. Whenever any failure occurs, it will move into catch block and it will print that condition and print the statements whatever you want to put, and then it will come and it will go and execute a finally block. Even when exception occurs or not, the finally block will be executed. Let me give you a good use case about what is this finally and why it is used. Just imagine in a programming language, you are opening a database connection and you are retrieving some information from database and then you are closing the connection. This is your logic. First method, you open the connection object you have opened. Next, you are retrieving data from some table, and then finally third method, you will tear down, you will close it down. So you opened the database connection successfully, good, and you are doing some operations on database and somewhere a crash occurred and that method has failed and your program terminated. So what is the net effect here? Your program terminated, but there is a connection which is opened is already live. Just imagine this scenario occurring some 100 times in the day because there is a bug. So what it does is it will open up 100 open connections to your database, which can cause severe performance problem. That is why what we advise is whenever you are opening a connection, there has to be that piece of code which will always close it, even in case of a crash or even in case if normal flow is executed and data is retrieved. In either of these cases, I want the connection to close. So in such situations, finally a block can help. Whatever piece of code I put in finally will be executed irrespective of if crash has occurred or not. If crash occurs, catch block is executed. If crash does not occur, catch block will not be executed. But in both cases, finally block will be executed at the very end. So things like closing of files, closing of database connections, these things I put in my finally block. The advantage is that even if crash occurs, these connections will be closed properly. So here in this example, you see that the build process started. There was some issue. Okay, but build has not stopped there. Since there is an exception created, it is caught and whatever content is inside the catch block is executed, and finally it went into the finally block and completed its cycle in a smooth manner. Just to make it more clear, again, see this execution. The build process started, good, so far no problem. Suddenly there was an exception, something failed. So the other statements are not executed. Immediately the switch will be, the control will be going into the catch block. And after catch block, finally whatever is in the finally block will be executed. Suppose if this is not there, this failure is not occurring. And if I run if I run our task, you can see it went into the build process, try block, executed first line, executed next line. Since there is no exception, catch block will not be executed, and it finally came into finally block and executed whatever are inside it. So irrespective of a exception occurs or not, finally will be executed, but catch block will come into picture in case of exception. If there is no exception, catch block will not be touched at all. Okay, this is about try catch blocking. This is about try catch blocking in Ant Contrib. So the next task that we will try to understand is for. What is this for? For is basically an iterator task. So if you have to go through a list of items and print each value, or if you have to do some operation on every element in a particular array or in a particular list, you can use for task effectively here. Okay. See, just imagine you have to invoke a build script on 10 machines. Okay. So how will you do? Either you have to put 10 times and task, right, for each machine, or you put the names of the machines in a list and then for each of these machines you run the script. In that way your code will be lot optimized, is it not? Your script will be lot optimized. If you have to run something and a series of elements, you have to either put each task block separately or you use a for loop, put the names of machines in the list and write your command in such a way that you can run the command for each of the machine. That is where the for loops help a lot. Let's just take an example. How do you iterate through a list? See, this is list. Just these are some letters. Or imagine these are some machines. Okay. So if you want to retrieve the value of a letter, you can use the @ symbol. There is a parameter which is how you just imagine a typical for loop, guys, in your C or Java, anywhere if you have to, for I is equal to 1 to 10, you put something like that, right? So that I is this param here. Okay. So whenever you run this one, letter will take the value of A in first iteration, letter will take the value of B in second iteration, letter will take the value of C in third, and so on. So, and you get the value of that parameter by using @ symbol here. I have not saved it. You can see this is our try catch block. Leave it. I did not comment it. After the finally you see what is happening. For each element in the list, there is an iteration happening. And what I am doing is I am doing the echo. So whatever value this letter assumes, that value I am printing here. Just imagine here series of machines. Machine A, machine B, machine C, machine D, and machine E. Okay, and let me give the parameter name as machine. Okay, so now I can say here you can see I can do any run. See here I am putting an echo. Okay, here I can call Ant. Here I can do anything actually. Just I am using an echo for you to demonstrate. So you can run a machine on machine A, machine B, machine C, machine D, machine E. Just to see with one statement, I can run some command on a series of machines. Okay, that is where for is very powerful. It can optimize your code to a large extent. If you have to iterate through a list, and then for each element in the list, if you have to do some activity, for is very helpful. Otherwise, what you have to do here is put this echo statement 5 times to achieve the same thing. That is where iterators are actually very much helpful. And this for loop is not available for you with default Ant. That is why those who have not used Ant Contrib doesn't know all these things. Okay, like this, you can understand and you can practice various things in Ant. So I tried to cover few things. Finally, I'll tell you one more thing, parallel, which is also very, very useful. It is available by default only. I missed it in the yesterday's discussion. Well, that's something which is very handy. You can run 2 tasks in parallel. At the same time, you can run 2 tasks in Ant by using the concept of parallel task. See here, it executes tasks in parallel, but there is no guarantee about which will run first, but both will be run in parallel. See, I'll just take you to an example. This is the structure for parallel actually. In put one parallel task, and inside that put as many sequential things as you want. This is like, if you are familiar with any programming language, this is like threads. If you want to run things parallelly, suppose you want to trigger a build on Windows and Linux parallelly, That is where this one is extremely helpful, extremely valuable. You will write one Ant script for running on Windows. You will write another Ant script, put it on the Linux machine. Then you can actually use this sequential. You can put any number of sequential blocks. You can put any number. It's like threads. You are creating multiple threads here. And all these threads will be executed in parallel. They can be executed on the same machine or different machines. I will put this in this for loop. Okay, that will give you very good understanding. This that's best example. I'll say not do these things. I'll go with the default example about for if it is there. Just to demonstrate your threading, I'll take one super example. So let me print here A, B, C, D, E. Okay. Let me print here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And both the executions will happen in parallel actually. I'll just show you that. No need of any sleeps and all those things. Now I have put two sequential blocks. Inside that I have put two for task actually. One is printing A, B, C, D, E letters and one is printing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 letters. Now let me just check it. You can see letter A, letter 1, B, 2, C, D. There is no order. We cannot say these will run in synchronization, but you can see this for task is executing. This for task is executing in parallel. So in this way, you can actually run multiple tasks in parallel. This is doing something. This is doing something, and both are being run in the same time. One is printing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Another one is printing A, B, C, D, E. Now I am able to run both the things in parallel. Do you see this, guys? Do you understand this? This is very powerful usage in Ant. You can get multi-threading feature to work very easily in Ant.